Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this episode I am going to talk about variance. So what is variance? There are two types of variance, sample and population. We talk about variance sample when we take a subset of the data and then calculate the variance for that. We calculate for the population when we have the whole range of data. In this case, when we have only sold the product in this time period, we would talk about population, but this is only a subset of the data. I didn't take all the time series data, so in this case it makes sense to calculate the sample variance. How do you calculate the sample variance? You take the value, for example 1.2 minus the average and divide by n minus 1. N in this case is the sample size, so in this case it's 6 minus 1, that is 5, and you take the square here when you deduct from the i's value the mean. In previous video I showed you how to calculate the average. Here I use the average formula to calculate the average price for each product. So let's see which formula in Excel we can use for that. And here is the variance population, and here is the sample, and just highlight the range and you will have the variance, which seems to be a quite low number, 0.01. Could it be very different if I calculate the population divided by a higher number, so it is even less? Yes. If you do it one by one, it will be very troublesome, because you would need to this minus this, and then you would need to take the square of that and then plus the other one. So it is quite quick and convenient to use the formula in Excel. I will drop down the formula to see it for all the products and guess for which one it is the highest, the walnut. So what does the variance show us in pricing? It is showing actually how much we are deviating from the mean, from the mean price, from the average price. Let's take an example. For example, Apple. I will insert, or no, maybe take the walnut, because then we can see more deviation. I will insert a line, and I will add labels, so we can see that the highest price is 17 and the lowest price is 9.5, and the average is 12. So the average would be a straight line here, a static value. So I will insert a shape just here around 12. So when we talk about the variance, this blue line is our mean, and when we talk about variance, we talk about the distance between this 17 point and the 12. And for other prices as well, and theoretically you just sum these distances or these deviations from the mean and divide by the sample size -1 if you calculate sample variance. If population, then with the total population size. Let's give a title. Price. And what does it help in pricing? Well, you should sorry, I do not move this, but I will move this too here. When you talk about low variance, then you talk about products where you could use frequently used term in grocery or B2C pricing, everyday low price, because your demand is somewhat easy to estimate. So what I talked about in the investment part, the price elasticity is somewhat constant over time. So you need to know that price elasticity can also change over time. But for example, for products that people most likely use every day, like for example in a country where they produce a lot of potato that most likely will have less variance, where they are not producing so much walnut. In this case, it is a company or a country where the fluctuation of walnut price is very high. The variance is very high, maybe because they have a lot of diseases there, or they don't have walnut at all there. They have always different sources to source from, and the price of the sourcing companies is also fluctuating. So they are rather promo driven, flexible price bands. So that was about variance. I will come back with my next video about median and mode. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye.